I'm 32 years old, standing in the middle of my driveway with a single overstuffed suitcase and a pair of shaking hands. Behind me, the door slams with a violent crack that makes the windows tremble. Victor's final words still slice through the air. "You never accomplished anything on your own." A fitting exit line for a man who once claimed he loved me. The neighbors pretend not to watch, their faces tucked behind hedges that hide nothing. If anyone ever needed a portrait of a perfect suburban marriage imploding, this would be it. My husband tossing me out like bulk trash on collection day. But this moment didn't begin in the driveway. It started years earlier, long before the divorce papers still warm from the printer, long before the countdown he gave me 30 minutes to pack and disappear. 3 years ago, Victor and I were still pretending we were building a future. Or rather, I was pretending. He was critiquing. We had been trying to conceive for 2 grueling years, months of negative tests, sterile waiting rooms, and Victor's rising resentment. With every not pregnant, I could feel him sharpening new insults. He had a way of turning disappointment into a weapon. "Maybe you're just defective," he would mutter, as if I were a malfunctioning blender he regretted purchasing. He loved reminding me that his first girlfriend got pregnant by accident, a comparison he wielded like proof that the problem was obviously mine. The truth, of course, was something he never dared examine. 6 months ago, exhausted by the constant blame, I scheduled my own fertility tests in secret. I needed answers. When the results came back perfect, normal, healthy, I felt both relief and dread. Relief because my body wasn't broken. Dread because telling Victor the truth would shatter the illusion he clung to. When I asked him to get tested, he exploded. "Don't put your failure on me," he shouted, as though anger could change biology, and from that point on, something in him curdled. He started making jokes about my faulty wiring in front of friends. He treated me like damaged goods he was nobly tolerating. The final crack appeared when I discovered fertility clinic brochures hidden in his desk tests. He'd apparently been planning for himself while publicly insisting he was flawless. When confronted, he didn't deny it. He simply stared at me and said, "I need to know if I'm wasting my time with someone who can't give me what I want." That was the day I filed for divorce. And now, here I am, sitting in my car outside a 24-hour diner, my phone plan cut off, my bank account drained to $312, and my entire life reduced to a suitcase and a lukewarm cup of coffee. With no parents left, no siblings, and no friends close enough to ask for a couch, Victor's long-term isolation tactics had worked too well. Then I remembered the card. My father had pressed a small black card into my hand during our last visit before he died. "Keep this safe, Stella. Don't tell anyone, not even Victor. Someday, if life ever gets truly hard, this will help you." At the time, I thought it was sentimental, maybe a modest safety net. I shoved it into my wallet and forgot about it. Until tonight. Desperate, I drove to the nearest branch of First National Trust. The building looked like something out of an old movie, marble columns, brass fixtures, the quiet hum of real wealth. When I handed the card to the woman at the desk, her expression shifted. One moment, "I need to get a manager." "A manager? For a balance check?" My stomach flipped. 10 minutes later, the branch manager, David Chen, led me into his office. He asked for my ID, typed quietly, then slowly turned the monitor toward me. At first, I didn't understand what I was seeing. Then my breath caught. $47,322,816. I blinked. Surely that decimal was misplaced. Surely this wasn't real. David explained gently that the account had been opened 23 years earlier by my father, Robert Morrison. The quiet hardware store owner with the ancient truck and the thrifty habits had apparently owned rental properties and invested early in tech companies like Apple and Amazon. He'd instructed the bank to keep the account secret until I came in personally with the card, and only if I appeared to be in genuine need. There was even a note from him. "My daughter is strong and capable. If she's reading this, life has knocked her down. Let this help her get back up. Use it wisely. She deserves a life where she doesn't have to settle for less than her worth." Tears blurred the screen. The contrast between my father's quiet faith in me and Victor's years of cruelty hit like a tidal wave. Within hours, David had helped me set up new accounts, secure emergency funds, and book a suite at the Grand View Hotel, a far cry from the stale diner where I'd been nursing my coffee earlier. He also gave me the name of a divorce attorney, Patricia Hendress, a woman whose office radiated polished steel disguised as modern decor. When she extended her hand, her smile alone could have melted an unprepared opponent. On a scale from 1 to 10, she asked, "How badly do you want to make your ex-husband regret his life choices?" "About a 15. "Excellent." I told her everything. The infertility ordeal, the emotional abuse, the lies, the morning he shoved me out the door. She listened with laser focus, jotting notes that looked like strategies, not sympathy. When she examined the prenup I had stupidly signed out of trust, her eyebrows arched. "This is absurdly one-sided," she said. "Unconscionable, even. Did you have legal representation?" "No. Victor said it was just business and that I should trust him." Patricia's smile sharpened. "Perfect. This is the kind of document courts love to shred. And if he hid assets or misrepresented anything when you signed, it's even better." I reminded her I could now support myself without touching Victor's money. "This isn't about needing his money," she said. "It's about holding him accountable. You don't walk away from years of abuse without consequences. Not when you have options." And for the first time in years, I did have options. Later, after meeting with a fertility specialist who treated me like a human being instead of a broken machine, I sat in my luxurious hotel suite with legal documents spread across the table. For the first time in a long time, the beating in my chest felt like hope instead of panic. This morning, Victor kicked me out, believing he was discarding something worthless. He had no idea he was freeing a woman who had a fortune behind her, a powerful lawyer on her side, and a lifetime of strength she had forgotten she possessed. And he certainly had no idea how expensive his cruelty was about to become, because I may have arrived at that diner homeless, heartbroken, and humiliated, but I won't stay that way. Not anymore. My father's final gift wasn't the money. It was the chance to become the woman I should have been all along.